Mike Owens here, joined today by the Northwest Nomad, Brendan Loughnane, who's out there in Phuket. Are you in, Brendan? Thailand? You're in somewhere in
Yeah,
Thailand preparing for this next upcoming fight. How are things, my man?
only another 2 days. Only another 2 days, and I'm off to America, mate. Another 30-hour flight. Can't wait for that one.
I was going to ask you, we've got England, Ireland, the US, Thailand, and Dubai. They're your five places I associate you with. Which one's your favourite? Which one's your least favourite?
You know what I like about Mike Owens? He always comes with different questions. I've just answered the same questions back to back for the last hour or so. Mike comes with the good ones. That's why I don't mind doing Mike. Where's my favourite? Listen, Manchester's my home, innit? Like
Mm.
that's where the heart is always. But I like to flick about a bit. Yeah, that's for sure.
How are your how are your emotions after your last win?
Great, man. Fucking, it's good to just get back in the win column. I'm not used to losing, am I?
Mm.
So it was like, fucking hell, I just lost the fight. I didn't know what to do. It was nice to just get myself back in there, back in the W column, to be honest.
With that time away from the sport and with the way the fight prior to that ended, could you have envisaged a better comeback 10 months out, and you go and stop a former Bellator world title challenger in just over a minute?
Nah, it couldn't have gone any better. And not only that, it was the work that I put in the camp and, my boxing coach and all that. This John boy who was working on that same shot. And I've been in the game long enough now to know that it doesn't always go the way you plan in training. But when it does go the way you plan in training, mate, it's a fucking gift from God. So, yeah, it was a world class performance, and I'm looking to build on it.
What do you make of the controversy surrounding the stoppage? I mean, I'll give you my honest take, which is I can squint and see what people mean, but at the same time, that fight was only going one way from the position when the ref stopped it. So, what is your take on it now you've had a couple of months to reflect?
He'd been dropped twice in the first minute. It's like, where was we going with that fight? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the guy's got to fight again in the next round, like me. Like, you know, and I always tell people, yeah, it was only me, Pedro, and the ref that was in that cage. I
Mm.
seen his eyes. His eyes were gone. He was gone. It was over. The fight was done. It was a great stoppage in my eyes. But, everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah. You've been very open about after the Pinedo fight about how you maybe, and I want to say this respectfully, so don't have a go at me, but like doubted yourself, doubted if you still had it, if that makes sense. How did your last win reconfirm the confidence that you did, in fact, still have it?
I think a lot goes through your head when something like that happens. It's very
Mm.
traumatic getting knocked out. It's just a weird feeling that I'm not used to. It's never
Yeah.
happened to me before. So emotions were kind of all over the place. It was even hard to go back sparring after that.
Mm.
And then, the only reason I did was because Conor McGregor rang me and asked me, do you want to spar? And I was like, fucking hell, go on then, lad, why not? So then I
What was
went
that
back
like?
sparring. Fucking great. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Lit the fire again, big time. I was glad it all came at the right time, that phone call and all that. It was like 6 months after. So it was great. And then the phone call comes, do you want to do the season again? I said no. And then it got right down to the wire and said, look, are you sure? And I was like, are you sure? Because if you don't, we don't even give you a fight this year. And I was like, fuck. So yeah, I just went with it and I'm glad I did.
What was the sparring with McGregor like? Was it technical? Was it hard? Was it a couple of like? Give us a little bit of an insight into how that actually unfolded.
Yeah, we was just meeting up. It was like two mates who were just extremely experienced in martial arts, sharing knowledge, having
Mm.
fights basically as well, like having a right fight every night. It was great, and he would show me some things, I'd show him some things, and it was just a great guy to bounce off. Very similar stories. Been around just as long as each of us, both knockout merchants, both from fucking council estates. Like
Mm.
it was mad. It was, yeah, we really got on, mate. Honestly.
Had you met him before?
Nah. Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, yeah. I'd met him. We'd been had each other on Instagram for a long time, and then what happened? And then I was in Dublin commentating, and I went to his pub because James was with James Gallagher. He said, "I'm going to go Connor's pub. Do you want to come?" I said, "Yeah, I'll come with you." And then when I walked in, I seen him, and I was like, "Oh, nice to finally meet you." He said, "Have we not met?" And I was like, "Nah." That's literally how it felt.
Mm.
And I said, look, there's my number. I said, when you're in Dubai, give me a shout and we'll train. And he shouted me maybe a month later, and then the rest is history.
I'm not saying that you were in any way starstruck because you and Conor are peers, but has there ever been somebody where you've had that moment where you've gone, "Oh my Lord, that's such and such a person"?
Yeah, Joe Rogan. Yeah, because I used to always listen to his podcasts,
Mm,
and then yeah, I felt like I knew him because I had him
mm.
on every night at one stage. Thought me and Joe are mates, like I know him inside out. And then when I went for dinner with him,
Wow.
me, him, and Dominic Cruz and a few other people, and then he was chatting to me, and I was like, "This is weird because it feels like I know you." So yeah, definitely Dominic Cruz.
Well, look, we digress a little bit because you've got an upcoming fight in 2 weeks' time against Justin Gonzalez, PFL 6. Give me your scouting report on your next opponent. What do you think he does well, and where are areas you're looking to exploit?
Justin's just a highly experienced mixed martial artist like myself. You know,
Mm.
he's in his early 30s like myself. He's been around the block. He's fought all the best guys. And yeah, man, he's going to be coming for absolutely everything. I feel like I took my eye off the ball a bit with Pinedo last year, feeling like I was already through. I've not made that mistake this time and took this camp very seriously and looking forward to it.
Were you in any way surprised by this booking, given how your first fight in the season went and how his first fight in the season went?
Not really, no, because they're doing all winners versus losers recently.
Mm.
That's kind of how they're doing it. It used to be kind of random, but they seem to be doing winners versus losers. That seems to be the general consensus of the PFL. Um, and they usually do like top versus bottom, and then they go around. I don't know how they do it, but it changes. But it's usually that's the kind of gauge I get from how they match things up.
How much? Because I've seen you say in other interviews that you got a little bit tired of it feeling like every season was you, Movlead, Wade, and Bubba. So how much has the Bellator competition being brought over? How much has that kind of reinvigorated you going back into this next season?
I mean, not really. Like it's
Mm,
all like still the same shit in it. Like
mm.
still nine guys that are just looking to take your head off. Don't matter if they come from Bellator or the Moon, mate. They're just all opponents to me. Um, but I am 1-0 against Bellator now. Soon to be 2-0 against Bellator, just in case anyone's counting.
Is there any advantage though, mate? Do you see it as an advantage having done the season before because you've been through that ringer, you know what it takes, you know how those semi-finals and how those finals feel?
What do you mean? Is there any advantage? It's a huge
Of
advantage.
course.
It's it's a huge advantage, mate.
Mm,
Like this is my fourth one now. I know how to pace myself. It's a marathon, not a sprint. These guys have been going nuts now. I mean, this guy got knocked out. He's probably sparring. He's probably going nuts in his camp, and I don't know what's going on. It's really hard to gauge what to do in these fights, mate, and what to do in these camps. But I feel like I've finally got the sweet spot. But we'll see. I might not.
Okay, so we'll flip that question. Is there a disadvantage to having done the season previously? Like maybe the miles on the clock or anything like that? Is there anything you
Nah,
see?
no, it's all positive.
Oh, positive.
Definitely all positive.
I like that. I like that. Um, what keeps bringing you back? I mean, you told me, I remember you saying it to me after you won the 2022 season that that was you done. You know, I think lesser men, if I'm being honest, and I'm not kissing your backside there, mate, but lesser men might uh, have retired after the Pinedo fight. So answer me honestly, what is it inside you that keeps bringing you back to the fight game?
No, I don't know, mate. Like I didn't want. I had to really do some. I had to dig deep on and ask myself some questions. It was like, all right, do you really want to have this great career, and then when people look up your topology, they just see knockout and then just never fight again? Like,
Mm,
is that what you just want to end on getting knocked out, and that's how you ended your shit? Like,
mm,
had all these great times and then got knocked out and never went back in because you were scared.
mm,
And I thought, nah, that can't be how the book ends, Mike. It
mm.
can't be. So I thought, right, let's go again. Win, lose or draw. You know, you're doing what you love, and it was world class. I've let go of all pressure. Got myself, you know, it was pretty hard with Tony at times because Tony couldn't really travel that much
Mm.
after the final due to health reasons. So I couldn't really let that go. But I've actually finally committed to a full new team now, full new cornerman. Tony will always be my number one head coach. He's still in all the WhatsApp group chats and stuff. But it was good to finally let go of that. He can't come to the fights. I felt
Mm.
it was hard dealing with that for a bit. But I'm glad that that's done now. He takes more of a backseat role now on WhatsApp and stuff. And yeah, I just feel like I'm settling in now. Just the only thing left now is the final hurdle, Mike, the weight cut on the flight, and After that, we're back on job.
How much different is the Brendan sat in front of me now to the Brendan 12 months ago?
12 months ago. So 12 months ago. Do you
So
mean just
say so,
before Pinedo?
so say post Pinedo. So how much different is post Pinedo Brendan to the, you know, Brendan right now?
Pre Pinedo, Brendan. He was different to him as well. I didn't
Mm.
even want to be in it at that point, Mike. To be
Really?
honest, I was like, I don't even want to be in this tournament anymore. Like coming over to Thailand on my own, nobody about. Everyone's back in England having a summer. Fucking, I'm sat here training all day, no family here, rainy season, pissing down. And I
Mm.
was they're the stories that I was telling myself in my head. Like you're missing loads, mate. Like, in reality, once Pinedo was over and I did all the things I'd wanted to do, travelled a bit, I thought, fucking hell, you weren't missing that much.
Mm.
So I've let go of all that now. I've let go of all that. And this is truly what makes me happy. It's my purpose. And I'm going to ride it till the wheels fall off. I thought they fell off, but there's still a wheel left. So let's go.
So to keep with our tradition and to bring us back to old times, what are you fighting for in this season, mate? Is it the £1,000,000 or is it the second world title?
Boredom.
That's an
Boredom,
MMA
mate.
fighter's answer if ever I've heard one.
Boredom, lad. Sat about. Like, this is all I know. This is what I do. This is what I do and what I do best. I've got the dough, I've got the belt. It's on my mum's mantelpiece. No one can take it off there. The dough's sweet. I've invested it well. Everything's good. So it's like, now what you're doing it for? I don't know, mate. I just enjoy having a tear up every few weeks. That's it.
I love it. I love it, mate. Wanted to get your thoughts because a lot of your compatriots over in the UFC side will be fighting in your hometown next month. But they'll be fighting right in the middle of the night. I mean, Leon's ring walk scheduled for 5:30 in the morning. So what do you make of the UFC 3:04 start time? And how would you, if you had to go through that experience, how would you adjust your schedule or your regime?
Mate, it's fucking mental. R5 in the morning ring walk. It's fucking tight, really, isn't it?
Mm, yeah.
Right. It's not on, is it? I've been there myself though when I fought in Australia. I'm sure like the bus left the fucking hotel at like 6 in the morning or something. Something mad. Um, yeah, it's they have to accommodate for the US audience. I get it, but it's fucking rough on the fighters, mate. It's rough.
Do you think do you think anybody's performance will be affected by it?
People like Tom, man. Tom's just an average guy. He's a dad. Like he's in
Mm,
bed at 9 o'clock, mate. I reckon. I reckon
mm,
Tom's in bed at 9 o'clock, mate. It's gonna be hard for someone like Tom, I reckon.
mm.
Um,
Probably tougher with people with kids when you think about it.
that's what I'm saying.
Mm.
It's a rough one. I'm not gonna lie, but it would have been. Imagine me on that card, mate. Could you imagine it? It would have been something, wouldn't it?
It would have been. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
would have been. Imagine me and Paddy on that in Manchester. That would have been something, wouldn't it, lad?
Do you think that fight happens one day?
I don't know, but imagine it. It was on that card. The
Mm.
place would have went mental, wouldn't it, lad?
The old North rivalry.
Fire it up again. Why
Mm.
not? Nah, best of luck to them all, man, because it's not easy fighting at that
Mm.
time. Let me tell you. Good luck, lads.
Yeah. The last one from me, mate, and as always, I really appreciate your time. I'd
Good
like
man.
to know, in a perfect world, what happens when you wake up in the morning to when you go to sleep at night on fight day. Give me a walkthrough of how you envisage the perfect fight day in your mind.
Good 9 hours sleep the night before. Wake up. Go downstairs, have a porridge. Go back upstairs, have another little nap. Then I kind of chill in my room, music on, do my thing. Then I'm usually main event, call main event, or around that time. So I'm usually on late. I like to just hang about, have a laugh with the lads. Make sure I always check I've got my box and my gum shield. I check that about 40 times. Like,
Mm.
where's the box? Where's the gum shield? That's all you really need in it.
Mm.
Then it's like, right, okay, we're gonna go up to the arena soon. It's like 8 o'clock. All right, have a shower, fucking get all my shit on, get my BL tracky on, go over there, walk in, get my space, have a little warm up, watch the fights, and then just go in and do what Brendan Loughnane does and fucking sets the world on fire.
I love it, mate. Look, always good catching up. We don't do this as much anymore. Ever since you won that world title and you become, a
Oh, fuck off.
bit too big-headed for
Fuck
the small
off.
guys like me.
Fuck
But
off,
uh,
Mike.
but look, no, always good catching up. Always good seeing you in action. And I wish you the best of luck for the next fight, my
Go
friend.
on, Mikey, lad. Good to see you doing well, my friend. Take care, bro.